Hi everyone, it's Daisy, and today we're going to be working on a drawing of a stallion. We'll be coloring it in watercolors. A specific technique that we'll be touching today is to create gradients. We'll go section by section to understand how to get the lights and darks going in this beautiful stallion. So work with me and I hope you have fun. Hi everyone, it's Daisy. We're going to be working on a profile of a white horse, and it's going to be done in watercolors, but the drawing is going to be in pencil. This is ideal for drawing fundamentals level 2 or advanced art, and that would be ages 10, 11, 12 and higher. So anybody that wants to take a whack at it, please do. So the drawing first. This is a white Mustang, and I'm going to zoom in more on the face. You're looking for the balances. If you have a good picture that you can use for a horse as a reference to work on your own art, you should definitely go for it. But keep your eye on the different balances. So that means nose balance, eye balance, so on and so forth. So please don't be misguided by the line that I made. So if my left eye is here, my right eye would be in sync with it. So that's the way that I'm drawing it. But I really can't see my left eye. All I see is the muscle over it. And so I don't need to draw it. That is the most of the face that I need. Next step, the corner of the eye lends itself to a bone right there. And the inside of the eye has a bone to this point, after which it kind of roots out and comes back. And you want this part up. So this is the most on the horse. I try not to go in for the details, but I see every single line that I'm drawing right now on the horse's profile. So hence I'm going to draw it. The ear is going to start from the inside of this eye right here. So this is where I would place it. It would be about that big for the base. Diagonal line up, pretty straight. Another diagonal base up. Remember, every part of your horse's body has to be very, very strong. Cannot be weak. Another dimple in its flesh right here moves back to tell us where the neck is going to be. Now for its mane, so it starts from about here, is very close to the tip of this ear. So as I take my line up, I'm going to start angling towards that dot and keep going. Next, if this is first ear, second ear would be, if you follow the line just like this, this is where your second ear should have been. And it should not be taller than the first. So that's one thing that can help you in the way that you draw it. Second ear. Hair coming out from here. So you can erase away this line. We don't see a straight line as the bottom of the hair. Every hair follicle is kind of like a little U. And there's going to be a lot more than what I'm drawing, but I'm just drawing a few that helps give me direction when I start painting this thing. So I was planning to go in for creating hair and hair. Now, if this is my face, the top of my neck, it was just gonna bulge. This part is my neck coming back, and after that goes my body. From the left eye, right about here, is where I see the rest of my body from my horse. So this is the basic profile that I needed, and I'm going to start my painting process on this particular drawing that I have. The kids that are in my fundamentals, my advanced art classes, they have achieved great success in their drawing skills and are very strong. So a picture such as this, if I were to be in my studio and draw it for them, they would keep pace with me, which is why I kept on going. So, but again, this is a tutorial video. That means that you don't need to feel like you have to slow down for any part of this. So always when you start with watercolors, a good brush, a little bit of kitchen towel or a tissue paper to help you blot off any spots is what you need. And this is going to be a monochromatic picture for me, so that means I'm going to only use this one tone of blue, and that would be it. The very top of my horse's neck should be the brightest, so I'm not going to apply color towards it. But where I am going to apply color is going to be in this crevice, so the darkest part, and I always lay my colors to the darkest tone that I know that I need to kind of showcase. So this is going to be the most dominant area. Once I've laid it down, I go back, I get some water on my brush tip, and I help the color to move downward into the pocket that I wanted to see it spread in. But the top of this portion will stay as the strongest and darkest, and that's exactly what I need. I don't want to make this any differently. Here we go. That's one. Always remember, in watercolors, as you paint section by section, if that's what you're doing, then you don't want to end up painting a section that's close to the one that you already painted. This part is only going to get so much. Coming into the ear. The rest of this neck is very, very bright. So I'm going to leave it for right now. The very center of the horse's ear. So I'm going to create a parallel line to my first. And I'm going to just create and this part. When I want just a skinny line, I resort to working with the tip of my brush. I'm working from right to left, so my hand doesn't have to go over anything that's wet. So I'm going to keep working downward against the horse's body. So first thing. Remember, like I told you, I will not go to work on any part of the horse. If I've already painted it in with a certain area, then I have to step away from it. I'm not taking any fresh color at all. In fact, I'm just using from the concentrate that I already have. Here comes my horse's eye. And I'm working inside of the frame that I had for it. I'm not trying to go in for more because I want to create this as the outline, the lid, the lower lid. And that is how I would prefer to keep this particular area. The lighter tones that I need in different parts, I don't go for concentrated colors here. Instead, what I do is I try to just work with the strong colors that I've laid down already here. This is a bone that is right over here, and it's dark from its own shadow. painting the strands of hair. You have to be patient with it, cannot make it into one big lump. You have to show the roots properly and everything else as well. There's one more place which I failed to do, that was around here, and as you can see, that's one of the reasons why I was hoping I wouldn't forget this, and of course I did forget it. One strand at a time. Don't rush hair. I like to add a pale tint over this area. So I'm going to take a water heavy brush and just give it a bare tint. So leaving the very top as a pure white, but the rest of it getting not just a pure white, but a tint. A tint defines as when you water down any concentrated color and you use it as a layer to just over it. So it's like, a good example would be sunglasses. So when you put on a pair of sunglasses, the environment tints into the shade of the sunglass. It doesn't distort anything, but it definitely tints it to where everything looks darker in a uniform way. Same way, that's the same process in which a tint works in colors. Now, I have two choices on this picture. I can leave it at this point and I can go in with a variety of colors, pencil colors that is, and just add to it. So for example, in the case of the eye, I would ideally like to kind of give it a little bit of an outline. Again, I cannot stress enough, it is very important that your pencil tips be very sharp. And I think I would like to accelerate one area a little bit more than what I have it as right now. This should be darker. This cannot be so bright. So as I look at my picture again and again, my eyes are constantly trying to balance and see if I made sure that I covered everything that I needed to cover or not. It's very important for me. Cannot just assume that everything would be fine. One of the ways that you can check your own artwork is to put it away from you, step away from it. Have a look at what it's looking like without you being up close to the whole thing. Now that I have this, so for example, the nostrils, I would want to kind of, and I'm going in very lightly, I'm not pushing at all on my pencil. I would prefer to kind of build it up versus suddenly putting in something too dark. Just a little bit here, and then of course the eye. You don't have to add a lot of color. I know what you might be feeling possibly is that a horse's eye is needs a further tint or whatever. Be that as it may, but that's not what we're shooting for. Just a little. This is all you need to deepen the hue. Remember, we said monochromatic. When you do monochromatic work, you are working with a single tone. Black and white are neutral colors that help enforce what your idea was or not. This. And that is all I would touch up with my black. I hope you enjoyed this picture, and I would like to encourage you to take up a challenge. If you have a good photograph, you've been dying to sit down and paint, unless you do it, you won't understand if you can or can't. Go for it, and do draw it, do make it. You are very welcome to send your artwork to me and get a feedback or a critique if you like, and I'm happy to give that. But I would